I press the live Great Ace Attorney button, and we're live. Hey everybody, it's the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, starring Josh
Whoa.
and me. We were
Really
doing
now?
stuff.
Were we?
Yeah, I believe we were getting our ass kicked last time.
Yeah, mostly due to bullshit. I'll be honest. This case is. I remember being vaguely annoyed at this case at the moment
Yeah.
because it's a lot of like, just
The
like
stuff we're
bullshit.
proving right now, the stuff we're proving also doesn't matter for the most part.
Yeah, it's like
we're no closer to solving the mystery, which is annoying.
it's because it was mostly like they remember how long we spent on. Well, he could have taken another way home, and then but why would he? It's like
But why would he is irrelevant. But also the fact is that he didn't.
hey, Mulligan.
We were just trying to prove that he could have when we knew that he didn't. So it's like, what's the point?
Right.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Hello, Mr. Judge.
Hey. This is the part where you think you lost, but Suzato reminds you of the thing you can do. As she
True.
has done like 4 times somehow. Already. In like 3 cases.
We always
2
forget.
cases. No, it's all over. And Suzato goes, remember the thing we've done like 16 times? And you go, oh yeah.
I feel like the second game will probably be a little less tutorial-y about it.
I mean, this is beyond tutorial. This is like it's like they've taught us they gave us the tutorial and we went okay, and then they reinforced it and we went okay, and then they kept doing it and we're like, I know, I
know.
understand.
Let me do it.
I'm on case 3. This is a linear game. I can't have skipped the first 2 cases. And it just bothers me. It's like,
yeah, this is feeling a little bit clown casey. It's not that bad yet, but it's feeling a little bit clown casey to me right now.
It's a little clown casey.
Maybe something will turn it around. Hey, the nice thing is that I don't hate all of the characters in this chapter, so that is an improvement over Clown Case.
Oh, come on. You hate the and
No, I like them.
and I don't remember a single character from Clown Case.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember them all because I've played that game like 4 times, but it's because it's out of trauma, not out of any sort of like respect or good intentions or like nostalgia. They're just burned into my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like some sort of curse.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways. Sorry.
Yep. Perfect.
It's been a minute.
You just did this voice yesterday. Oh no, it wasn't British yesterday. Never mind.
Right? It somehow adds a whole new complication for me.
Sure. I was worried he was gonna be like, and I've decided it's bullshit. Goodbye.
And the brains.
Bonk.
I can't really find this voice right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm just tired.
Good news.
It's gonna be off. It's gonna be off tonight.
After this, he doesn't talk for a little bit.
You will not believe with your second probation examination. I believe we are ready, foreman. We are, my lord.
Cool.
Very good. In that case, I'm going to ask you to take the loop, maybe take this one up. But I don't know what you find the defendant guilty of the crime.
Oh, I just think he's a
Judicial
cunt.
findings. The jurors' contentions.
And you left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? Dearie me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Yeah, come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Cool. Thanks, old man. Are you sure? One of them said, I want to go home, and another one talked about a completely unrelated house fire. What do you mean?
I know, right? Well, he said more tangible, not
I
that they were
guess.
tangible. We went from pure liquid water to like Jello, but we just put the Jello packet in, so it's basically still water. You know?
Right. Fucking. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony.
Yeah.
Bleh. This voice is even more appropriate because it is almost Halloween.
Spooky. Scary.
Spooky. We have to wrap this up so I can go and stalk trick-or-treaters.
Spooky. That isn't the spooky. Damn it. Spooky.
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 Spooky. I'm going to kill you in an unfortunate accident.
Bleh.
So the Bleh. Like I did that other guy. So the court
Wink.
must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing the scene of the crime. Why would they say seen fleeing the scene?
I don't
Who
know.
says that? Stupid sentence. I don't like it.
It's a bad
Seen
one.
fleeing. His plans flees to fleeing.
Ah,
Know what I'm
son of a
saying?
bitch.
What?
Forgot my Switch at work again. That's okay. We're going grocery shopping tomorrow. I'll fucking get it then.
F.
Why you don't take it places?
But I do.
It's portable though. Doesn't that?
That's sort of the
I
whole
feel like it
point.
defeats the purpose to like.
My bed.
Listen, it's not going to
What?
get stolen in the break room at work. I just have to go fucking get it tomorrow.
And moreover,
Anyway. Okay, unnecessary.
no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
But look, we all witnesses are correct. It was reasonable to conclude is somewhat set in stone. I don't see how it can be argued any other way.
That means, I'm afraid, that during this summation examination, it's essential that you kill Lord Fancies. It's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here?
Isn't it obvious? I can hear you, by the way. Who stabbed the woman and how? These two details are all you need to provide.
Oh, thanks for the help.
Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted.
And there I was thinking this might be hard.
But Mr. Naruto, you have to do it. Otherwise this really will be where the trial ends.
Ugh, no pressure then. I appreciate
This is
how
your
sarcastic
fail-state.
Ryunosuke is. He's like, oh, great. Cool.
What enough preamble?
Stabbed your mom in the back last night, Van Zeeks. Got him. Oh.
Idiot. Dumbass.
I don't know why I did that very quietly.
You're like so cool. You're like, wait.
I don't know why I whispered that air horn. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't feeling it.
Air horn sadly.
The reluctant air horn.
Alright.
Proceed with the major examination, please.
Yeah, no problem.
I presume you are prepared, Counsel.
I predict the face slap. Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now.
Yeah.
The double
Ooh,
face
the
slap.
double. The rare double.
Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garadib. Garadib is such a wild name.
Garadib. We have a book that disappeared from the Garadib's residence. House. I misread house as residence. And the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the two.
How did it...
Yes, that's
did
what
I
we have to
even do
find.
that?
Using every technique I've learnt in my short career so far. Whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Miss Garadib and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
When's the last time we even did a reaction?
It's been a minute. They keep bringing up the indicators, but, like, I don't think they've
nothing
really been
happens,
popping
yeah.
off.
The defense's
Yeah.
rebuttal. Left behind evidence of the scene. Hold it! I'm just gonna spend this first round getting information. But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3.
What difference does it make?
There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord.
Yes, that's what I have a problem with.
Sorry?
Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? He'd want to fire swap with his wife or something, you say?
That's not exactly how I put it, no.
Well, anyway, the point is, this fellow and his wife was somewhere else. What happened?
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
I really love the summation examination music. It's really good.
So we got up and the landlord did it, which I believe it with these fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver is about. It's don't deal in it.
I suppose it is, since I've nothing witty left to say. If there was some noble attempt to hold it! So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delight on your face!
Partway into the sentence. Shut the fuck up! I have an idea.
Oh my, such delight on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman. I am A.
Why would I?
That's great.
Think...
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see? Modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say? And not at all extreme. As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. Ran out of breath. So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say? Overwhelmingly. But us modern cows are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one. I'd be happy to do that, too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you omitted rational there. Even if a woman was throwing books, it can't be related. Hold it! But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Okay. Then what's the point of even having windows, huh?
You only refrain from childish bickering.
Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. Dear me, it was only a little hole. Hold it. I was hitting the button and nothing was happening. But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of love, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb. Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett. Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. Keep smacking that man. And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was has anything whatsoever to do with this crime. Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Miss Garrett's relentless onslaughts. And my frame rate is starting to explode.
It's almost as if he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. No, it just means that his wife also hits him. I assume.
Hold it! You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What?
I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames for tomorrow morning.
Oh no.
Thames,
What?
I think, actually.
Yeah.
You heard me, my missus ain't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me.
Another shining example of marital bliss, then.
A situation like this crept up the other day. It was, well...
You know, Josh, you were actually, I think you were joking, but you were correct about his wife hitting him, I think.
No, I wasn't joking.
Oh no.
I was like, that was very clear, right? Because he kept saying, I need to bring home money or it will be bad for me. That combined with the fact that he was used to getting hit by the Mrs. Garrett, I was like, this guy definitely has a wife that beats the shit out of him if he doesn't bring home food.
Troubling.
You know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember.
Sorry?
It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out.
Helpful.
I wonder if Mr. B will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Don't even go there, Miss
Goddamn.
Susato. There must be
He
some
might
way to
be.
jog his memory about this. Hold it! Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? He just gives up. Like, fine, whatever. It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Yeah, of course not. It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruto.
Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. What? The furniture caught, everything went up. The whole place was filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you catch a cold from a fire? What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, blessed them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then because the whole room was filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. The windows? The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing at my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in the hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. The fact that there was smoke and he had to open the windows, could it be that?
Yeah. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman in the street. As well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're... excuse me. Right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions, just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit.
Alright, well, it didn't give me any new information, but I mean, I know what I need to do. Nope, go back. Come on. Finish your dialogue box. You and you. You have to open the... oh, it actually did change his statement. So... Objection! Bang! These two jurors' statements are clearly contradict one another.
Righto, I'll go out with the council.
Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... oh. Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garrett household. And Mr. Garrett had the following to say about it. Nope, I just teleported back to the desk.
A place was filled with smoke.
Oh my.
Oh my god! Oh my god. Man, damn, she's really packing them on.
Excuse me.
Excuse me! Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Garrett! How dear me! What's the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? Well, I beg your pardon, what are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire. Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. What? Of course, I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruto. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrett's formal statement.
Now you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true. Well, does that help us? The window could have been open. Well, it was. It was open. You said it was. So do I do this now? Like... 3 books...
I don't know.
I mean, he still hasn't changed his mind, so, like, the window was open, sir. Those two statements clearly contradict... no, they don't.
I'm sorry, myself, Jerry.
What?
I object with nonsense.
Beans. Yeah. There was nothing whimsical about it, man. Right, do I press her now? Hold it! Because it's different now? The 4th... yes, okay. The 4th book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. I was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. But if it's the first thing she threw, the window wouldn't have been open yet, I think, right? Because she didn't start throwing things. The fire didn't start until she started throwing shit, I thought.
I think that's just semantics. I don't think that's the intended line of thinking.
Maybe it's
At least it wouldn't
things that
make
just
sense of
doesn't
what
matter.
we're saying. Yeah.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as you well know. I really don't. I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it. What?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. What is it, juror number 5?
You know something? I've remembered what it was. The memory I've blocked out.
Ah.
It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back.
Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett aboard the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even
Or the
flinch.
maid.
Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. It is.
It is. You see, but it is, though. That is exactly why it
And
is.
unfortunately, it is.
Well, it was about 2 weeks ago now. I just gotten back after home, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Oh dear, what a disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Boy?
Oh.
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time.
Uh-oh.
I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost the day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear.
Oh my
Stuck into
God.
the wall next to me, it did. About an inch deep.
God. No words, just terror.
I could smell it then, you know. That god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure that I was going to end up face down in that muddy banks that night, I tell you. Now that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is... when women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers,
Jesus.
you name it.
Mr. Naruto, you mustn't think all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. You should just throw them instead. At least attack with honor. Using a bow. Using a bow?
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Dude, we're gonna get capped in the ass, dude. She's gonna kill her. Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. I don't.
I do not dare.
So do we pit this against the alternate stabbing?
Like, someone said that they wouldn't. Yeah, it must be alternate stabbing, right?
Objection! Bang! Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Your sort of lightsabers. Weapons are so uncivilized.
Well, wait. You don't mean
You mean they don't contradict each other?
They don't contradict each other. Explain, counsel, at once.
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We've demonstrated that the fourth
here he
book,
goes.
The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garrett's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrett household to the street below.
Eh? What's that now?
After all, Mrs. Garrett could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? Damn. I'm beginning to think,
Paul?
ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened.
Now you listen here, you ignorant gala. As a woman is your demand a straight answer. You give us a yard but some other object make its way out of the household. But what? What is it?
I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garrett household to the scene of the crime was a jackknife. Take that!
Jackknife!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garrett. What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Ah,
What's wrong, Counsel? What on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lost in the victim's back, man.
I'm aware. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garrett was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene.
Hooray for domestic... Yes, we were saved once again by domestic violence.
Thanks.
Thanks, domestic violence.
Thanks, domestic violence. You've really helped us out on this one.
Big W for domestic violence.
Unfortunate.
You got that was found in the victim's grasp.
Are
Yeah,
you
she
saying
bent
you
over
threw
to
out
pick
the
it up.
window and across the street to land neatly in her hand?
No, she bent over to pick it up and that stabbed.
Yeah.
Huh, even my missus ain't got him like that.
Yes, I admit there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my. Eh. Sorry, the noise I just made got to me. Eh. Mrs. Garrett, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Oh. 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 Bye. My lord,
My lord.
I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madam.
Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see us coming, but I just don't think it'd be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Mr. Foreman?
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
Oh, what the hell, old man? Hey, we did it. We did it.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto.
As a result of the defense's examination summation, a number of judges
Two jurors called guilty.
And that's for thou holding innocent. Accordingly, the departed. And the trial will continue.
Yeah, we did it. See, this is kind of what I figured happened from the start. We don't have any.
Yeah,
But who's
they
the
didn't have any information.
who's the Shakespeare dipshit in that Popeye man though?
Maybe they're important in like the next case or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got no other ideas on what those guys' deal is. They're somebody. They wouldn't
Yeah.
be so outlandish if they were nobody.
Right?
So,
Now then, Lord Radvix, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
It doesn't.
oh, here he goes. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce.
Oh, he actually drank some that time.
You know, it has a sip. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough.
Please don't. Oh.
But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter.
It won't make no bad things. The defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened.
Credible. Is that your concerned opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed.
What do you mean by that? What's his ankle this time?
It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Gardeb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Gardeb's house to the scene is some 15 yards.
How many wine bottles and glasses? He must have
Just
a
like
fucking-
cases of
just a
them.
whole cabinet down there.
It's actually a wine cellar. He does that thing where he like looks like he's fake walking downstairs, but he's actually
But it's
walking
actually
downstairs.
stairs.
Let's see. 15 yards. That's around 14 meters.
14 meters. Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagined.
Boko, you don't keep most wines in a fridge. At least you shouldn't.
She doesn't keep any wines. That's a lie.
I do. I got stuff. I mean, if you got like a box wine, maybe your refrigerator that bad, but
I do know that. I take you grocery shopping. I would notice if you bought wine.
Boca doesn't strike me as someone who drinks.
She does not.
I do. Anyway. Oh, it's me. Right. And, as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having the portentous...
Portentous?
Portentous? Hang on a second.
Portentous.
Port-
Oh yeah, you're right. There's
Port-
not an I there. Portentous?
Portentous, says Google. Portentous. Portentous.
Of or like a portent.
Of
Thanks.
of portent. Important, you could say. Wait, no, it's like a portent as ominous. Right. Like this is an ill portent.
Yes.
Got it. Portentous. Having portentous significance.
That wasn't the last word.
He just says an adjective and then stops talking. The fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards. who land in the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb?
That would be
No,
ridiculous.
that's not what we're saying. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend?
No.
And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This bad fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots.
Ah! There's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
He definitely does. Miss Susato? Uh-oh.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
No!
I think this is you may speak to the defense, yes?
Ah, I love that she actually has, like, a camera angle here.
The prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible.
Fuck you!
To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garrideb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Fuck.
Sakes alive! A cross-examination of a juror?
I mean...
I mean, kinda.
Order, order! Where is it highly irregular? It's unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Oh, bye. I love how gingerly he picks it up just to yeet it over his shoulder.
And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zeeks.
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony of the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical I assume, theory has
I
any
think so.
truth in it. Then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes.
Uh-oh.
And we must assume that they would be able to testify accordingly.
Hmm.
I forgot those two were here, I'll be honest.
I haven't said anything in a while. It's fine.
What say you, witnesses?
Hey. Yes, sir. Constable Wowie Beat reporting for duty, sir. Oh.
Well, good morning, officer.
Sorry for dozing off until now, sir.
Is he fully awake?
I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. What?
Oh, they are so heroic, these London barbies.
Oh no. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but more no more.
Oh, Bowie, my hero, you make me swoon.
Yuck.
Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request.
Aw.
Oh,
And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again.
Okay.
Take forthwith before the court many details pertaining to the defense's alternative.
Yes, sir. Ow. I did a head motion just now and it cracked my neck in a way that was extremely uncomfortable.
And now I have to go to the hospital.
Well, bye, everyone. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, and London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of Garrett House are top-hinged casements.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did wave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rowie was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. Didn't she say you were face down in the snowbank?
Well, these parts are in top-hinged casement windows.
That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. Him.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable.
No, sir. Sorry, but what exactly is a top?
Yeah, we made him. We gave him
window?
terrible. We give him really bad voices, Small guy. You're welcome.
It's really good.
And you, soldier boy, I tell him. Sorry. You cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend.
Of course, sorry.
I found it, Mr. Naruto, in my book of casement windows. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room.
Alright, I'll try.
Does it perfectly.
And
So the window opens in order to
he's
allow-
also imagining it before it was burned and broken.
Which we never saw it in that state. Like, ever.
No.
We're just imagining it. More than anything. Which is pretty good. So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate into the house.
Ah.
But, as it's the top hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see. I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount.
It prevents it opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book of knife would have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No.
You see the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete.
Now you will learn Linux.
Hooked on phonics. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road.
But they were there.
That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already.
That can't be.
Bee. Did you see that, Wowie? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Oh yes, that's not your voice. Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me.
Oh, Wowie, you're so strong.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed.
Now, don't maybe drag yourself up right again. Call a Rachel cross-examination.
My lord. Oh good, another desperate situation. Cross-examination. Constable Beats report. Nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, in London, Bobby is good for his word. You see the windows on the top floor. Garrett house are top-inch casements. If anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and help Church. Yeah, didn't you say he was face down in a snowbank? Hold on. Hold it. Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer. Is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Wowie's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Don't feel bad, my wub. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Wowie told me, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Wowie!
Oh, please.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Wowie was the first at the scene, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but a 12 Bobby is never really off duty, sir. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report. Hold it. Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's owner, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrett household, so the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well? Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruto. I had no right to speak out.
What do you mean?
I requested the cross-examination, Mrs. Garrett, without consulting you. Even if the judge did deny me.
Oh, I see. Well, I agree with you. We do need testimony from Mrs. Garrett if we're ever going to get to the truth of this matter.
Do you really think so?
Well, think about it. No matter how far it is across the road or how that window opens, Mr. Garrett's book found its way to the scene of the crime somehow, didn't it?
You're right.
And then there was Mrs. Garrett's reaction to me showing her the knife. The woman's hiding something, I'm sure of it.
You're right again.
We need to use this cross-examination to uncover more clues. We'll get to the bottom of this one way or another, I swear.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just press on all of these then, and we can pause once we get more information or whatever. Hold it! Hold it! How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It is the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder of all us policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? I can't say I remember. I do. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man is what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes admittedly. Sir.
Oh, Wowie, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my dwelling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Wowie.
No, none of this is what I meant. I meant how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett? Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Gerald's dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution is Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. Is he going to give us that book and it's going to have something important in it? I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. So that and sir, I'll be happy to lend you my Rowan card for your perusal. Sorry.
Perusal. Perusal.
I didn't think about that word as it came out of my mouth. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Constable Beat's warrant card has been entered into the court record. Let me read that shit. I want it. Give me it. Give it to me now. Can I want to look at it. Can I look at it? I want to look at it. Can I look at it? I want to look at it. This is tried to preserve peace within his allotted beat. Patrolling officer expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for further community relations. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Who the fuck was on this beat then?
Right?
We still
don't
haven't
know.
seen or heard from them. I mean, whatever. Let's just hold it! By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct? Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see, so there was restricted as to how much they open.
And therefore anything thrown out from the window, from inside the room, would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen.
Yes. Directly opposite the scene of the crime on the other side of a rather wide road.
Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top-hinged casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house is furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
What's up?
Excuse me.
What are you doing?
Excuse me.
Excuse me?
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat? Sorry? No, that's not me. What?
Wait, why did you... Hang on a second.
Wait a minute.
You just so effortlessly. You even did my voice.
I know. I confused myself.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you...
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. Oh, we're just so lucky it didn't happen on Welly's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized. Is his beat literally the other side of the street?
Is it the other side of the street?
Oh,
Did
I
they
hadn't
move
realized.
the body to, like, avoid?
To avoid being responsible for it?
Yeah. It must be, right?
Right, and...
Oh yes, that street wire road was just a boundary between Welly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Oh, we lost him again.
Constable Beat! Huh? Oh, well, yes, that's what. That's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing the occupants of the Garrett household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see, sir. That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garrett household's on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Gelwood's house? Yes, ma'am. The payment on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if that woman had been attacked on just the other side of Wire Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary.
Oh my god, he did move the body.
Yep.
But that's the wife of a Bobby after all.
Extraordinary people, Bobby. Tirelessly working for the benefit of all wanderers.
You know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Wowie for all his hard work.
Now, the real question is, did she do it herself while he was face down asleep?
Oh my god. I think
Don't you
you're
think
right.
so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Nardo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Case file's information has been updated in the court record.
And now it's my turn, I think.
I think. Oh.
No.
Oh, never mind. She's not
Oh.
done talking.
Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Warrior, sir?
Oh.
It's my wedding anniversary.
Yes, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing?
Please. Just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony.
Sorry. The please got me. Hang on, I'm gonna take a drink of water.
This is also stupid.
I'm just a real goblin.
Fucking Ryunosuke hears this sentence and just points at Susato next to him.
It's because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses, I don't want to hear it.
Ah! Not again!
My voice
No.
will be heard. My ward, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. B. Oh, now you don't make your head melting, you desire.
That
I'm not prepared to least resistance is the safe one.
was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's words counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Wowie won't.
Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
We'll find out next time
Whoa!
on the Great Ace
Segue.
Attorney. I don't know. That feels like a good line to stop on to me.
I do think so, yeah.
All right. Well, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow for something. It may or may not be Yakuza. I guess we'll find out. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.